Mindhunter is back as of Friday, and I have watched it all. I spent all day watching it. You have David Fincher returning as the showrunner, director, producer. You have Jonathan Groff, Holt McCalley? I think that's right. And then Anna Torv coming back as well to reprise their roles from season 1. And we follow them learning more about the psychology of criminology and investigating these serial killers, these mass murderers, these people that have killed a lot of people and are really dark, and it makes me really uncomfortable and I don't know what to do. But they are back, they are full force, they're learning more, they're getting themselves involved in more crap than they probably should be doing. And we have ourselves a season 2. I first just want to get into that I am a huge Fincher fan. Zodiac is probably one of my favorite films of all time. It was very influential for me to get into filmmaking and to explore the art of film. And I kind of owe my life to the guy because I really love that film. It really taught me a lot. But I don't think everything he has done is perfect, by all means. I mean, The Game I enjoy. I don't think he's really made a bad film. I haven't seen Alien 3 just because out of respect for Fincher. So naturally, I was very excited about this. And I'm a huge true crime fan. I follow a lot of podcasts, Sword and Scale, Generation Y. I'm a big horror fan. I love Halloween, all that stuff. So this is right up my alley. The first season I thought was really, really great. I think there is a lot of deeper meaning, and maybe I will do a video essay later on in life or whatever. But this season, how did it hold up, and how does it compare to season 1? I first just want to say that it is not as good as season 1. I think it's still pretty good. I liked this season. I was engrossed in it, but I found a lot of flaws in it. And I think this might be the weaker of Fincher's filmography, if you must say. If, I don't know exactly how involved he was with the season. I know he directed the first 3, and I know he had about a 12-hour shoot for one scene. He's very extensive when it comes to filmmaking. And I tend to think that because of the directing, the sound design, the cinematography, the editing, the score, it sets itself apart from other crime shows. But where this season faults is kind of in its story. It just kind of seems very, almost like a side quest. In this season, they really expand on Tench's storyline with his son and his wife and his failing marriage and his personal life and his professional life. And it actually almost seems like he's the main character this season. They kind of let Holden sit in the background, kind of take the back seat of it. He does have a lot of screen time, but Tench's really stands out above him, and he really is the star of the show. And I really liked that aspect. I liked how Tench's storyline really fleshed itself out because I thought it was really interesting in season 1. It was nice to see that side of Tench and how he handles these little mishaps in his life and how he handles the professional life and the personal life colliding. Holden's storyline, like I said, it doesn't really live up to that season 1. I feel like they had a lot of stuff they were setting up in season 1 and at the beginning of this season that didn't really pay off for me, and it didn't really hold the weight that last episode of season 1 did, where it was just like when he runs into that panic attack, and it was just like almost like a jaw-dropping moment, and I thought it was a really well done scene, and it made me really excited for this next season, but it doesn't seem to pay off in the long run, and it might happen in season 3, and I don't know exactly, but it feels like a side quest. I feel like there was a bigger story to tell, and they kind of get put on this case that takes away from the psychology of the show, the interviewing psychopaths, and understanding the brain, which interests me at this show. It kind of set it apart from most other crime shows is because you really dove into the psychology of the human brain and these psychopaths. So it was kind of a letdown for me because they really departed from that. Wendy's storyline was hit or miss as well. I think last season was pretty good. I thought she was a very interesting supporting character. The cat storyline was really, I didn't understand it until I read an interview about maybe there was a kid living in her apartment complex that killed a cat that is representing what they're learning from these psychopaths. And so that made more sense to me. And in this season, she kind of is just in the background again. She does get fleshed out out with a love interest, but it just doesn't seem like very detrimental to the main storyline, and it could in season 3, but as for this season, it doesn't really work that well. I mean, it's fine, it's interesting, I feel like, fine TV, but it's not really to that next level that I felt like that first season was. She's a very interesting character, and I love the dynamic she brings to the team, and I'd love to see her more be in that, front and center role, actually investigating more instead of just sitting in the background. She does get her hands dirty a little bit more this season, but it still seems like she's very much a background character. I did, however, think there were a lot of good parts to this season. I thought the Child Atlanta murders were handled very well. That aspect, that case was very compelling. I thought the Charlie Manson part and his little followers were interesting, and especially like the Son of Sam interview I thought was very good as well. I think this season doesn't really have that, level of uniqueness that first season brought with the psychology. This season kind of seems a little bit more generic and tends to fall on the side of a little run-of-the-mill, if you will. And if I had to choose one word to describe this season of Mindhunter, it would be mixed bag.
Manson is small, like really small. Try not to stare.
I just felt like they jammed a lot into this season, and it could have been, maybe 15 episodes long. And I don't really know where they're going to go after this. I will watch season 3, but overall, I think this season, is a bit of a mixed bag. Like I said, I think, you should definitely check it out, though. But what did you think of Mindhunter Season 2? And what was your favorite part? What interests you the most? And if you like what you saw here, make sure you hit the like button down below. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. And if you like what you saw here, make sure you hit subscribe down below. You can also check out my other videos right there. Or there, I don't know exactly which ones they are. But thank you so much for watching, and always remember to make time to watch a movie. Have a good one.